Which is all good and well until we start getting tankier people. But if this
Yeah.
gen is ahead, then we'll see how they actually play around this.
But considering you see the two bot lanes, do you expect the Jhin to get ahead?
I imagine it's quite hard. I know Frostmith and Cargilly, I imagine Frostmith is piloting the Nico, are really, really strong weak side. They are very, very content to just sort of let the lane stay as passive as possible. But they can jump on the slightest opportunity, like a slight misstep out of Yusef or Weebly, and suddenly Frostmith is 2 kills up, for example. So we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see.
If you'd have to predict.
Early mid game, I'm gonna give it to Pieces. Mid late game, I'm gonna give it to Eversons.
Yeah. I mean, right? Like the later the game goes, the more that team comp just goes completely insane, right?
Yeah. It's just making sure that this Karthus doesn't scale, because the minute Karthus is one of those champs that if they start, they do 0 damage.
Oh, come on, they could
until
actually
they start doing 0 damage.
Do you see this?
Yeah, 5-man topside. Yeah, the Vex is gonna land the fear. The W from the Jin's gonna come through, and the first blood lands immediately onto Yusef, as this is a disastrous start for the side of PCS. As for you guys can't see all chat, or potentially you can. Jenna, the top lane, just type to Roro in all chat, as they know that you don't really want to accelerate this comp, and by giving that first blood, they've inadvertently done that.
I'm surprised that generally, if you plan an invade, usually either the support or someone, maybe the mid laner, usually goes what's the red UAV thing that shows you things?
Oracle, yeah.
Yeah, usually like one person goes that, and that's one of the people that is in front, so you can see if someone's in a bush, and also if there's a ward, if you're spotted. Like, surely that's how you play it. Well, then again, that's like,
yeah. I think that was just a slight miscommunication between, or they didn't expect 5 people to be topside.
They're fighting here.
Yeah. A lot of scrapping in the bot lane. The exhaust is wearing burnt, and the ignite as well. As it is a Nico Galio bot lane. So Silas and Galio are in the same lane. It's just not the lane that I expected. Is that 4-shot's going to come through? The flash, and it's being traded. The Kingslayer comes through and doesn't land. Jarvan is bot side potentially looking for a kill, but you can see there's that ward in that bot side.
Yeah, it's going to spot him, right?
So yeah, they spot him out. Silas has no flash. Nico lands her root, but it doesn't connect to anyone, as those healing pots are getting popped, and I think they're just gonna walk. Yeah, they're just gonna walk out of there.
Which is kind of good, right? Because the Jhin doesn't even have to burn his flash there.
Yeah, Jhin is in full possession of his flash and his cleanse, and also first blood. Yep, as Annie is getting traded, Rince is fighting in the mid lane, and he's getting ignited. He's ticking. One more tick, but he survives just barely. As that phase rush chase is going to start running down Rack in the top lane. He has a lot more movement speed, but Rack's going to get that level 3, and he's going to turn this, potentially. As a Rince is actually quite struggling in the mid lane. That Vex poke is very, very strong, and yeah, that's what we're saying. This mid game is becoming this early game.
Yeah, I was gonna say this mid game. It's 3 minutes into the game.
Yeah, this mid game is 3 minutes into the game, and I'm already doubting about PCS winning this. But they do have a Jarvan. They're probably gonna wait for this ward to expire in the bot lane.
Jarvan's coming.
The root's gonna come through. The taunt's gonna land as well. The 2-man taunt. The cleanse is burnt. The Kingslayer's gonna land. The E flash Q, and Bodomi gets one. I think he can clean the second one, actually. Just we need to see if Frostmith's going to move. Frostmith gets the movement speed. Genesis spends his full shot. He's reloading. He burns his flash as well. A really successful game.
Yeah, but the Karthus here.
Is part of the bot side as well. Maybe they can clean up the Jhin. The EQ comes, that lands, and Jarvan is in a very tricky spot, but maybe they can potentially kill. The flash first strike comes through. He doesn't do enough damage. He does 0 damage, but he's probably going to kill.
Holy shit.
The first Q comes through, and Frostmith gets 2. This Karthus is going to clean up that 1. Early game Jace.
Yeah.
Do not underestimate the power of early game Jace. He burnt both flashes in the bot lane. And I don't know if they're keeping track of sums, but this might be the momentum swing that PCS needs.
I mean, I was surprised because at one point I was almost sure that Karthus was not getting any kills there, but then he kind of fixed it somewhat. But
yeah, fully committed with that flash burns as well. But we're gonna see if they can capitalize on the fact that there's a flashless Karthus on the rift. Maybe invade his top side and kill him again, as there's no way he can get out. But there's a ward getting spotted as well.
there's also the roam happening right now from Galio to the mid lane here very early on.
Yeah. Roam and Galio sort of misdirection of showing the Jarvan top side, placing that control ward. As Weebly's going to try and clear that, but the Jarvan's going to be right behind. Potentially burns another flash, as
That's
Galio
super
and
nice.
Jarvan have burnt 4 flashes between the two of them. But as a result, the only person with flash left is Arins. But Arins has all sums. He's about to hit 6 pretty soon. Yep, he's going to land the stun, the ignite, and the electrocute is going to proc. J4 is going to EQ over the wall. Vex is going to get their shield, but Arins is going to clean up with that Q, that fireball. As Jinna and Rak are going to be trading the top side. Jace is very, very strong when he gets that transformation, but literally it's disgusting in the level of damage she does. She still has that flash. She has that.
And she has that healing as well in one of her forms, right? That is going to make her be able to heal this up, right? So the Jace now is like, oh.
Yep. I sorry to interrupt you, but the Kingslayer is going to land, and Kogili's going to try and kite this up, but no, he's actually blast code away. As Kogili survives for another day. Silas is level 3 as well. They're down currently a level because of the roam. And the death, as Jinna's going to try and kill Rak on the top side. Rak's going to try and flash and get this kill, but he doesn't get it.
That was so fucking close. So fucking close.
Jinna hits 6, Bedomu past top side, and that phase rush helps him survive by the skin of his teeth.
But I mean, right now, the gold is almost even, right? It's like 200 gold one side. So this feels like for ever since it's going quite alright. Especially with the accelerated Jhin, right?
Yeah, it's actually, so the gold difference is about 600 in favor of Frostmith on the Nico, but then it's offset by the oh no, sorry, it's the same on the Nico. I was comparing the two supports. It's offset difference by the. I don't know why they're slightly ahead.
The Silas is ahead.
Winning jungle and they're winning
the Karthus is behind.
Yeah. But Silas is also in lane for longer, so he's probably stacking up those spell thief charges.
Yeah, I mean, there's also that difference is almost irrelevant, right? Like 200 gold is not anything you notice.
Yeah, especially on supports. As those first items start coming through, as Jinna is going to start trading on top side, Rak is going to use the Grasp of the Undying. That's the name of that rune. He's going to start stacking off of this Jace. Literally has superior range to this Jace when Jace is in hammer form. As we pass bot side and we see Weebly is actually making a move, he gets spotted by that river ward.
They have some pretty good wards there. That spotted him quite quickly.
Just gonna respect the fact that there's a Vex bot lane who's level 6 with ignites as well.
Yep.
And just farm under the type.
That's a first split for Nidalee. Oh, okay. The Jace has one as well. Oh, the Jarvan's coming up here.
Yeah, Jarvan's potentially coming. Nidalee is flashless. She only has her Cougar form.
Yeah, she's dead.
She's gonna try and go. The EQ, the Cataclysm lands. The Requiem's gonna land as well. Potentially clean up 1 kill, but he doesn't have that Leandries, so he doesn't do enough damage to this.
That's actually a big cooldown, right? Because this is level 6 Karthus ult. That's gonna be offline
this is about. It's 2.5 minutes basically.
Jesus.
With the Fiendish Codex is giving ability haste. The Kingslayer is going to come through. The Vex is going to try and kill as the Flash gets burned by the Galio in a panic. I think this Vex is dead as well, but Silas is ticking. One more tick, but he survives on what I swear is single-digit HP. He's 5 on 15 HP there. As, Friend is going to get that topside scuttle. A lot of action around this mid lane. Sort of bullying the fact that Arens is on mages, because he's been super dominant on these AD carries mid, the Tristana, the Lucian.
Sure, but right, if you think about it, if you look at it, right, like Arens probably won't carry on this Annie because he's not getting a huge lead, But his engages with his point and click stun are still gonna be there, right? His ultimate summoner, the ulti summon that can stun if stacked, like he's still gonna be super useful, even if you do try to punish him and shove him a little bit in, right? The other issue will be, for me at least, is if you're gonna have enough damage in these fights, if Rince is not gonna have the damage he usually has with his ADs.
Yeah, it's one of those things where he's sacrificing carrier potential for more consistent disengage and engage. But then at the same time, who's going to out-damage the people who are currently fighting your team? Yeah, a bit of trading is going on. Rack abusing the ranged disparity between the two champs and the fact that they are running this Grasp of the Undying, which is healing and doing bonus damage. It also picked up the Sheen to sort of get those auto Q combos going. Is the interrupt going to come through? No, the interrupt doesn't land, actually. So I think Karthus gets there back for free. As Jinna and Rack are fighting on the top side. The Cougar form, he's just going to knock him away. The two-man route in the bot line, and also the Nico ult's going to come through. The Kingslayer doesn't have E2. As Podomu's top side again. Rack has flash. Podomu has flash. The Cataclysm is going to land. He doesn't have the upgrade smite, but he's going to try and run him down. Meanwhile, Weebly's here as well. Weebly has ult, I think. I think Weebly's going to try and ult the Jace. Rack has to be very, very careful. He just want to walk up. Yep, he can get one flash in the top side. We don't want to. Weebly doesn't want to. Oh, Rack doesn't want to walk up, but he might actually consider
Annie's coming as well.
Now.
Annie's coming as well with ult.
Yeah, Annie has ult, Annie has ignites, Annie has flash as well. She's going to try and flash ult, and Tibbers kills Goth Yordle. Rack is sitting in that top side bush, hoping to clean up a kill on Juno when they walk up. Podomu is molting, actually, in the background. No. As Juno's going to try and get the 1v1, and Annie's Tibbers kills passively with that burn. As Podomu and Juno might not survive, as the Weapon's going to land, but there's no Leanders on the Karthus, and Juno makes it out with 1 HP, basically, and Podomu dies for his sins, and maybe Juno dies too, but Karthus is going to get killed in the bot side, killed by Juno. Maybe salvage this trade as the Grand Entry is going to come through. Juno gets that magic shield, and potentially walks it out away from the Silas. I think Silas has expended his E. He might get another E coming up momentarily. Arinz is here. The accelerated. Oh, he doesn't know how to play Silas.
Yeah.
He got the combo wrong. He does have lethal there.
That was a very messy, very long fight. To the point that Silas could run from base to top side to get there. To join the fight. Yeah. And Annie as well. Like, that was like a... One person joins the fight, another person joins the fight, another person. Oh, Jarvan.
Nico's mid. It's not Jarvan. It's
I fucked it up.
Birds. Yordle flash or Vex's flash. Weebly is currently flashes in the mid lane. A lot of flashes expended in this early game. To make sure they're not giving up these very cheap kills, and you can see that in the gold differential. Only about 500 to 700 gold. As Podomu's going to come mid again, Jarvan is alive, so potentially this is the real Jarvan with a Nico. As the sun's going to land, the Pop Blossom's going to go as well, and Frostmith is currently on a killing spree that offsets that first blood, but the Riftjar's going to get killed. Unless Jinna can stop this, Jinna's alone in effectively a 1v3, but they're just going to try the drag.
Yeah, he's getting over
Yeah,
there.
Hextech and Infernal off the table. Hedging bets, I'm going to say Kempunk is the Dragon Soul that we're going to get when the Smite lands. And the drag we are going to get is, in fact, Kempunk. There you go. I was right.
Oh, wow. Okay, so
Jinna is trading in the top lane, yeah. Rack is fighting as well, yeah.
The spectator is bugged because it shows me that it's an Infernal Drake that is spawning, but yeah. Oh, never mind. Nidalee?
Yeah, I think Nidalee's in a lot of danger here. Yeah, Jason's just gonna clean up. I think there's a level differential of 1 level. I think Rack was level 9 when that fight started. As that Rift Herald, Shelly is not gonna get a crash, so it sort of offsets the gold that they got from it initially. As plates are gonna go down in 20 seconds, this mid game looks like it's heavily favored to PCS. It's very PCS favored. As the Nico ult's going to come through, the flash gets traded 1-for-1. The taunt's going to land. Jhin is bot side as well, but Nico's 2 levels up on the Silas and 1 level up on the Jhin.
They're coming down.
The Kingslayer's going to come through. Yeah, J4's going to come. J4 has flash and ulti. I don't think Jhin can get out of this. Jhin doesn't have ulti as cleanse, but you can't cleanse a Cataclysm.
I
he doesn't
expected
go
him.
for
Yeah,
it.
I
But,
expected him to go on there, but I guess not.
Arin's in a really tricky spot. He's going to drop the tippers, and Vex is forced away from this. The TP's going to come through as Jace is going to come here. I think they're going to try and dive the Jhin on this wave. Yeah, they potentially look to dive the Jhin as the Karthus reveals himself bot side, landing 1Q, 2Q, 3Q. He's going to pop that E. The Jace is going to knock him away and potentially accelerates a Q from the Jace. The Requiem's going to land. The Curtain Call's going to land, and Karthus dies as a result. Yep, Vex is going to land the ulti, get the shutdown, or Yusuf is going to get the shutdown, but there's a lot of low health bars ticking, dead. As Vex cleans up the kill on the J4 and gets, or Jace, and gets the shutdown. Weebly salvaging what was a doom situation, and Yusuf's Curtain Call manages to clean up one more kill, buy them some time, but the turret's going to fall regardless.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised how
gold
much they got out of that situation, because I really felt like that was a very, very rough position they were there at one point. Oh.
Yeah, even more so considering that Nidalee also got topside turret. As Podomo is struggling to get out, he has no mana and he's currently The taunt, the stun, and the roots are potentially enough. The E's going to come through, and the Kingslayer doesn't land. They might be trading a turret for a turret. I don't think Jhin does enough damage to turrets to destroy this based off of this recall.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But yeah, if you look at items, the Protobelt, the Luden's getting locked in for that Annie.
Yeah, they're finally getting some of the items actually finished.
Yeah, and Jhin is probably going to get his Gale Force off of this back, and Karthus finally has that Leandries. I want you to bring your attention to the jungle pets of the two junglers.
I'll be honest, I have no idea how these jungle things work.
so the way the jungle pets work is they are on a stacked space system, and when you progress through them, you get upgrade levels of smite. So if you hover over J4 smite, he currently has Unleash smite, which does, I think it's 600 damage on a smite. Which isn't good, because you want to get your primal smite. Primal smite's the one that does what the old smite used to do, which is 900.
That's the next level.
Yeah. Karthus has finished their jungle pet, and they've gotten their primal smite, which is 1002, I think. I think Unleashed 600 and 1002. Yeah, the Cataclysm's are going to land, but this is Silas's Cataclysm. But yeah, it doesn't do enough. The Ludens is a lot of damage. The Heroic Grand Entrance is going to come through. The Nico is going to E in, and I think they're going to kill. The Frostbite is on a rampage as well as Karthus dies. Karthus doesn't have ulti. The Flash ulti from Nico, which is also called
Pop shit, they just got they just got an advantage everywhere, even at the top side.
Yep, the only person left alive is the artist in the bot lane, as Jhin has just watched 4 of his teammates die. Very mid-game dominance from the side of PCS right now. As the Critical is going to come in, potentially kill Podomo, looking for it. Kills Tibbers instead, and Annie is slightly sadder as a result, but Arin's in all chat doesn't seem that upset.
Yeah, if you're Eversense here, you need to be careful, because this is an early game, kind of mid-game transition now that is getting quite substantial for PCS.
The problem that we were concerned about was Eversense doing too much damage when they get to late game, but right now it doesn't seem like they're going to have an easy time at it.
No, because they have a big item disadvantage right now, right? Like, you'll see it already that the second items of PCS will be significantly earlier finished than the second item of Eversense, which will give them a big damage difference.
Arins has finished that Shadow Flame as well. I think Nidalee's dead here. It's not the actual Galio, it's actually a Nico in disguise. The Cataclysm is going to land, and Jhin is going to clean up that kill again. And Annie's going to solo kill the Silas in mid lane. We were wrong about Arins not being able to carry on these mages. As
100% I was wrong.
7-2-4. And casually one-shotting supports. He's also one level up on Vex. This Deathball comp is not looking that scary on the side of Eversense, and this one-shot comp that a PCS have sort of formulated with all this front-loaded damage. Yeah, the Requiem's going to come through, farm some free gold with that first strike. How much gold does Karthus get from that? He got 5 plus 119. There's hope. There is hope. Stranger things have happened with Karthus alive.
you say there's hope, but realistically, like there's hope in like 20 minutes, right, or something like that. Like you'd need to go quite significantly late game now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the second Rift Tail as well is going to make it really, really hard for them to get to that mid game.
Yeah. Because they're
If
just
you're
pushing this, right? They're
Eversense-
just using this and just shoving and shoving and shoving it from PCS's
Yeah.
perspective.
If you're Eversense, how do you win this game? That's like the question.
just wanna slow
these
it
guys must be asking
down.
themselves.
Like this is
Yeah.
there's too many things happening. You just need to try and stop getting caught out, which is easy to say, very hard to do. And you just need to try to slow this down, right? Like you need to slow this down, get more CS, get your second items built, and try to avoid it. The problem will be that PCS won't let them, right? PCS will probably force them to get something done just by forcing, for example, like Baron, right? They'll just start it.
Yeah, we're gonna see if this force is gonna work in the bot lane. Rack is currently 2 levels down, but the flash is exchanged in terms of the support flash. He's ticking, but it's not a lot of damage. Potentially 1Q, potentially. The Q
Oh,
misses, the
shit.
accelerated shot fires and goes wide.
He
That was a juicy
lives-
shutdown.
That's 3 summoners.
Yeah, 3 summoners, both flashes on the top lane, and meanwhile, in the top lane, Weebly gets killed again. As Kargilish is going to catch his wave. He's going to try and go for the taunt. No, he's just going to throw the wind blast.
Yeah, but look, now they're gonna summon the Herald topside and have the push bot side because of the health advantage. Like, this is again like they're accelerating the game, which is what you don't want if you're Eversense, right? Jesus.
Yeah, almost, if you look at the scoreboard, it's almost 1,000 or 1,200 gold in shutdowns alone
Yeah.
on the side of PCS, and none of that on Eversense. Yep, that second tier 2 turret, which is the juicier turret, those sideline turrets worth 550 gold per takedown.
Yeah,
gotta
they
go
get
down
another
on
one
both
bot side
sides.
as well.
Yeah. How do you win this if you're Eversense? Like, what is the comp?
I don't think you can.
Because you can't push. You can't push lanes because Jace is just going to respond to TP. Maybe forcing something bot side. The curtain call is going to come through, and maybe they try and do
Right,
it. But
realist-
force on Jace.
Realistically, you don't have significant. Never mind.
Yeah, the Catcos are going to land on the Vex. Weebly's going to have to burn their flash. Eversense's friend.
Holy shit.
Yeah, Arinz is chasing afterwards, and that Luden's penetration just
Yeah.
deleting Karthus from this world.
No, what I was gonna say is that realistically, right, Eversense does not have significant wave clear, so you cannot even stand behind the turret and wave clear the waves and just like slow it down by just clearing them. You cannot do that. The only one that could realistically clear waves quickly would be the Karthus, but he's on 1.5 items. Well, 2 now. Right? Because like Nidalee can't. She needs to face tank. The Jace will poke her to living hell, and Annie as well. The Vex can't do it as well. So you cannot really slow it down unless you start winning like some miraculous team fights. Right now, this is a game that PCS should just straight up win right now. In this position they are right now.
Yeah, it's a lot less mental power for PCS to
Yeah.
get what they want. They just press their buttons and they do more damage. Eversense is sort of on a needle's edge. Max Crisp is just going to get deleted by Tibbers and her bear, or Tibbers and her master. His friend is getting 1v1 by Badomu, who's opted for that Morph Mortis as well for some healing. Jin's trying to do some damage in the mid lane, but the heroic entrance rather, is going to do some damage. The ult's going to land from the Vex, the Shadow Surge, but she doesn't get the second one, as Arinz is unstoppable. But that's the first of many shutdowns. Yusuf is trying to kite out Yuna, but Yuna is 3 levels above him and is on a killing
I like how you're very positive by saying like this is the first of many shutdowns, but realistically, they're on.
Hey, there is hope.
all
There is
3
hope. It's just
lanes
very, very doomed.
are on inhib turrets, and they just got Baron.
Yeah.
And the Drake
it's
is
very, very
spawning.
doomed. It's very, very doomed at the moment. Don't get me wrong. It's very it's near impossible for them to walk up and do any damage. As Silas is 6 levels down on the top laner, and
Dude, the Jace is 1v3.
yeah, Jace is going to run away with the game just purely based off levels, but they're going to get the first kill. And Friend's going to clean that up. Yeah, he's going to get the first shutdown. He potentially gets 2 shutdowns off of this. He just needs to land 1 more Q. There it is, 2 shutdowns into a Rinse, or into Friend, rather.
I have to say, apparently you're just like Rasputin or something. You just knew that there were shutdowns coming and you said it.
I also have slept with the Tsar's wife. Like,
fair enough.
yeah. As Rex gonna walk up, they don't know where Cargilly is. The 2-man root's gonna land, and the ulti's gonna go down. It doesn't do enough damage yet. But he is 4 stacks. Friend is gonna walk. He has blue buff, so he's actually healing up quite nicely. The Pop Blossom goes off. Meanwhile, Arinz is godlike and kills the Virtuoso. But Arinz is gonna try or Friend's gonna try and kill Arinz. He might not get it. She's taking dead, and also the another shutdown goes in the pocket of this Karthus.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, Annie is so far ahead, she still has another 400 gold shutdown.
Yeah, and also look at Jace.
Yeah, Jace is pushing in that top side, and it's making it really, really hard to play the game. Yeah,
and the Silas can't even approach him.
Yeah.
Because he's 5 levels behind. Obviously, he's the support, but I mean, like, he cannot touch him right now. I don't think they win this 2v1.
Yeah, I think, Jenna's just going to try and clean up Rack. The W's going to come through, and it doesn't matter. The heroic entrance is going to come. Maybe he can clean up 1 kill. He doesn't have Gale Force. But he's going to try and opt for the ulti. Kogira's just going to stand in the way. He's going to go for the taunt. Weebly's going to see if he can land the Shadow Surge. He doesn't have ulti. Maybe he can land a Q. He doesn't get anything from that. He doesn't have flash. He doesn't have any sums. Meanwhile, they lose that bot lane inhibitor.
Yeah, all 3 inhibitors down. 1 inhib is down. Jesus.
Yep. Shadow Surge is going to come through. The Pop Blossom is going to land in retaliation. The stun, she's sleeping, she's airborne, she's knocked in the sky. The Cataclysm lands. Badomu, more Malmorius procs, but the Virtuoso gets another. Ironically, his 4th kill of the game.
Yeah.
But Jungler dead. Jungler dead means Drag is up. Potentially.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to approach it because the Jason, the Galio will just... Like, they will do it themselves. Yeah, look, they started it without the jungler. I think so.
Yep. Max Crips is going to press 1 button as Tibbers lands on top of his face and burns it to death. The W lands from the Jhin, the stun, the ignite, and Rack's going to see if he can get some grass with the Undying stacks, but he doesn't get it. But Karthus is going to clean up another shutdown. All of this gold in Friend's pocket. Maybe he can do something here. Maybe he can do something. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I mean, he is not as weak as he was before, right? Because he finished a death cap as well. So he has some power, but it's just the problem is that it's just so much damage from the other side. Like, all of them have so much damage because they all are on, like, 3 items at least. Yeah. Yeah, all of them, except the support.
Yeah, it's very imposing for this Death Singer. Being piloted by Friend, but I wouldn't put... If I was looking at ever since his comp, Friend is who you want the gold on.
Yeah.
You want that gold on your Karthus. Who's 3 stacks to finishing a Dark Seal, and
but the problem
almost 20 stacks to finishing Magi. As the Curtain Call is going to come in, Max Crisp is basically 50% HP. The Red Room's going to land. Big chunky damage. That first strike finally getting value as... Friend is going to try and slow down the Nika. The Pop Blossom is going to go through. Pop Blossom doesn't land on anyone. Meanwhile, Vex and Rack on their own, but Friend is going to clean up another. Vex is going to clean up Galio, and Friend's just going to walk up. Yeah, he's going to press E. He's going to walk up. Jinna is in a lot of dangers. Padomu right in Karthus ulti, and I think he cleans up 1. No, it doesn't really matter. Ever since is trying to make away with it, but no, they don't. Annie Arinz is gonna just clean up more people. That shield gets popped. Weebly is running for their lives as Annie has a Q prepped that she's going to throw as soon as she gets that E, the E for movement speed. She's gonna throw the Q. She throws that Q.
She messed it up.
Vex survives. Yep, Weebly survives on single-digit HP.
Ow!
And the ace in favor of Ever Since.
Wait, don't you have like a point-and-click Q that just...
She does. I think Arinz either autoed a minion or Vex popped or Weebly popped her shield at the exact same time.
Something happened, yeah. Or, I mean, the other option as well is that they're just laughing hysterically in their Discord call and are barely taking it serious. That is like the 3rd option, but...
Yeah, that's the 3rd option. I don't think it was the W. I think there must have been like a misinput or something.
Yeah,
maybe he autoed and took a toe shot.
Or
because
he
that
wanted
Shadow
like to
Flame would have
disrespect
killed.
it with the like the W thing or something or whatever the flame thing is.
Yeah. 5k up. Not really a spot I feel comfortable disrespecting my enemies at the moment, but
Yeah.
I have 10 turrets
Really?
and they have 1.
Hang on, really?
Um,
This is a position where you wouldn't disrespect the enemy, where you're have legitimately broken their base in all 3 lanes. You've got 1 inhib down, and they've only taken 1 outer turret so far.
yeah, but I wouldn't sit around in the mid lane on 1 HP when Karthus potentially has ulti. Karthus potentially has vision as well.
They're gonna be playing around Baron here again, which is gonna be. It's gonna be. They are on full vision here. I don't know if they know.
I think they do. Yeah, the Karthus also going to come through. The Baron reduces your resistances. Yeah, very, very chunky. Yeah,
very sloppy.
As Rince gets deleted almost as the Shadow Surge is going to come through. Jinna is in a lot of danger. Vex is going to Shadow Surge and kill her. And he's going to get popped. The pop loss is going to land. Vex is going to go for the second ulti.
Frostman's
going to go gold in the Podomi heroic ulti. Karthus is going to clean up one. Silas is going to clean up the other. Jin is going to clean up the 4th, and Rince is left all alone, going gold and trying to buy a moment. But the Death Knell is running, cleans up 1, but Max Crisp gets a double kill.
That was extremely disrespectful, right? Like they started this Baron without checking Baron Pit for vision at all, and then they got chunked with the Karthus ult and had the resistance lowered. But then I don't know if you saw it, they killed the Karthus but continued to fight in his passive. He got like, I don't know, 5 or 8 Qs off. He chunked them so hard.
Yeah, I think they got trapped. They sort of hard committed for the Baron, thinking that it was easier table. As Rax gonna try and get this turret, fighting for their lives, but it ramps up but doesn't kill. Rack probably needs some health regen. He has the Divine Sundry, has the Bork, potentially clean up the Wraith, but now just gonna channel their recall as Friend is going to start podding towards Drag. Yusuf is spawning in a second. Annie, Rins in 2. And we have a soul on the table.
This is... that was a very interesting way to fight around that Baron there. I'm still very confused how they did that. Like, with no... I guess, whatever.
Yeah, with no vision. They lost every single Baron.
They learned their lesson. You see it on the Drake Pit. They've got the pink ward down. They've got that UAV thing popped and everything.
Yep, Karthus has ulti. Karthus is going to drop that ulti. How much damage does it do? Not enough. Someone hit Karthus and proc that first strike. That W is going to come through from the Jin. The curtain call is going to follow up shortly after. As Podomi is going to try and run down Rack. The Cataclysm lands. Potentially Rack survives. Rack's going to walk into the rest of the team. He's going to have to be forced to flash out as Karthus is going to get the objective. Everson just walked up to the pit, took the objective, and
this is strange.
A lot of gold swing. A lot of gold swing in favor of Eversons.
They just need to be careful of this wave here.
Yeah, getting into late game.
But this
the
is
one mistake that PCS made is they took too many targets too early, sort of depriving them of information. But her own Esther's going to come through. The pop blossom is going to land as well. Tibbs is going to get one. Arin's going to clean up one, but it's very, very chunk from the Jin. Jin is going to clean up the other. Karthus has no ulti. Karthus is dead. As meanwhile, Tibbs is beating off the Yusuf as Rack is in the backline, sort of splitting the fight. Maybe trying to pull the wave, but he's going to be run down by
this could be game here.
Yuna. Yeah.
They don't have a super minion wave.
Jen only has 4 bullets and there are 4 people, but I don't think he has enough damage to kill them.
Yeah. But you see the difference in the fights when the Karthus doesn't have a lot of opportunity to chunk, right?
I think they're gonna try and go for the end. Yeah, the flash taunt, the cleanse is gonna land as well. Yeah, EQ is gonna land as well. And Rack is left all on their own under this last failing turret. And his PCS are gonna try and clear the in-head without adding salt into by killing a Rack finally. As Max Chris comes up, but it is a GG in favor of PCS.